Nielsen Catalina is in the unique position of having access to both media assets from Nielsen. So that means the Nielsen TV ratings, the digital ad ratings, and consumer shopping panels. So we take all that great media data, which is the currency for the industry, and match it with shopper data that we receive from Catalina. And Catalina collects the shopper data, or known as loyalty card data or purchase data, from the point of sale at mass merchants, grocery stores, and discount drugstores. So you have these two terrific big data sets that you can match to understand who saw what and did it impact their purchase. Transparency is unquestionably, table stakes at this point. There's been too much there have been too many problems overall in the industry around fraud, around bots, around questionability of whether my ad was actually saw that I paid for. So everybody wants transparency, and they want to know that the ad was delivered to an actual person. At Nielsen Catalina Solutions, we can do that because we are actually delivering it to a person based upon their shopping patterns. There are many participants in the industry, in the overall ecosystem, that are responsible for this problem. So, technology often, and technology providers, and we have technology at NCS, so I'm pointing this responsibility at us as well, they often are able to, sort of mask over the blemishes of poor data. If somebody's sitting at a terminal or somebody's using a model, they have to ensure that the data going into it is the best quality they can have, and that the match rate, against a particular file is the best as possible. And if it isn't, you just have to acknowledge and be transparent with what can work and what does work. So the responsibility is across the whole supply chain. The advertiser needs to know what they're buying. The data company or the research company has to explain exactly what they can and cannot do, and the technology in between, the ability to actually capture an impression or append data, to a media exposure, has to be confirmed. So it's a lot more than viewability. It's a lot more than preventing fraud. Everybody along the supply chain is responsible for transparency. And I really think we've hit a tipping point, where everybody's acknowledging, that we're all collectively responsible. Today TV has multiple definitions. There's addressable TV, there's linear TV, now there's data-driven linear TV, there's over-the-top, which is essentially, digital video. And so now the advertiser has a plethora of options with which to meet consumers. They can deliver ads across all of these different screens. So cross-screen measurement and cross-screen access to advertisers has changed. It's opened dramatically. And I really feel like we're at an inflection point for TV, or TV content, as we may want to just call it, or premium video content, where not only can consumers access it, not only can media companies and advertisers access those viewers and those consumers, but at Nielsen Catalina, we can measure it. We have a holistic mean to measure the impact across all these different channels and then add it up. What worked best, So it's groundbreaking for us. We're very excited about it. Cross-platform is no longer just digital and television or print. It's now TV content across all these different screens. Blockchain, from my perspective, is still unproven, unknown, and the beginning of what could potentially be a very valuable tool, data architecture, and asset for everybody in the ecosystem. But it's just not known yet. But the promise of blockchain, security, transparency, control, and an understanding of where if your data or a consumer behavior goes into a block, and that block is secure, and it adds up to a chain, and you're able, if you're the data provider or the data user, and you can secure and state today that you have the right to use that data, then I think there's great promise there. But it's very early stages, very, very early stages. I mean, we've been hearing about artificial intelligence and virtual reality for 5 years now. And I've yet to see an application, for the advertising ecosystem that's truly made an impact. Maybe on the creative side it has, but if blockchain's really going to manage or improve that work stream, which there is, particularly in the programmatic space, there's great need for improvement. And if it can do that, then I'm all for it. But nobody has come to me just yet with a solution that has to be simple to employ, it's got to address the security concerns, and it's got to drive business. It can't be more expensive than the ad itself.